A super important thing that you'll need to do as part of getting compliant with a lot of these security compliance frameworks like SOC 2, ISO 27001, etc., is to ensure that you have a proper vulnerability management program in place. The idea is that you have to track vulnerabilities across various touch points that you might have, whether it's code based vulnerabilities, whether it's container image based vulnerabilities, whether it's at a server level. You are expected to track these vulnerabilities on a regular basis, put a policy in place which talks about various remediation SLAs that your company would follow to fix those vulnerabilities and ensure that you follow them on a regular basis. All the frameworks expect you to do this. In ComplyJet, all of this is basically done by integrating with your vulnerability management providers. As you can see on this page, the first thing that you would want to do is to ensure that you identify where you want to track your vulnerabilities. For example, you could do that at a code level. A lot of these code hosting providers like GitHub, they do an automatic scanning of your code, do it, which is basically called GitHub Dependabot. Or you could use something like an AWS Inspector or Microsoft Defender. You have a lot of these vulnerability tracking options across various cloud providers and hosting providers. So the idea is that you first have to enable them at the source and start tracking vulnerabilities. Once you do that, and once you connect the integration on the integrations page, we then automatically pull in all the vulnerabilities from the source to here. The first thing that you want to do after pulling in the vulnerabilities is set up various SLAs based on your vulnerability policy. Once you do this, you want to take a look at all the vulnerabilities that are being tracked, and you have to ensure that there is no open vulnerabilities, which is basically missing SLAs. So for example, the idea is that for this particular vulnerability, which was discovered at January 30, it was due at March 1st based on the SLAs that we have. You have to ensure that these vulnerabilities get fixed by that particular time. And if that doesn't get fixed, your auditor will take a look at it and then might ask you why you haven't fixed it in time. The goal is to look at all open vulnerabilities at any point of time, ensure that they are fixed well before the SLA that you have put in place. Every time a new vulnerability pops up or every time something is close to an SLA, ComplyJet will alert you in the right time so that you could go and fix them all. Sometimes it does happen that you might have missed vulnerabilities because there might not be any fix that's available, or you might think that it might not poses a lot of risk for you as a company. So in that scenario, you can open the vulnerability itself and you can dismiss that with a note saying that we are okay with the risk this process, whatever that particular reason might be in your scenario, and you basically save it. So all of these things are tracked by your auditor when you go for an audit. So it becomes pretty important that you stay on top of all the vulnerabilities and you don't miss any SLAs, or you ensure that everything is in close state.